Mexico is tightening security at its border with Guatemala after President Trump threatened the country with an increase in tariffs. In May, the federal government started flying migrants from Texas to San Diego to alleviate the processing facilities in Texas. One of those facilities is a shelter downtown, helping families deemed by our government as asylum seekers. Now, I got the chance to tour the facility to see how it operates and what kind of services are being provided. Take a look. They're playing outdoors. Kids just being kids. Fresh meals served 3 times a day, giving them new clothes, a warm place to sleep, and access to doctors.
Oh, wonderful.
Just some of the services offered at this downtown shelter for asylum seekers.
I've had some really heartbreaking stories. A woman,
Dr. Gina Fleming-Maggett with UCSD.
Checking her in, and she had many sort of broken fingers. And I thought, that's unusual, and so we asked, what happened to your hand? She had been in Honduras and was unable to come up with the rent, and her landlord had taken a hammer to her hand.
California certainly.
The Trump administration has beefed up border security, making it more difficult for asylum seekers to get into the U.S. and get help while here. That's why Jewish Family Service stepped in, along with other nonprofits of the San Diego Rapid Response Network, the county, and the state. So far, helping more than 16,000 people, mainly from Central America.
Here, I feel safe. I feel safe, and my family feels safe too.
Jennifer is 17 years old. She left Cuba with her parents and says their lives were threatened because of their political views.
We came here with nothing, and here they gave us everything, including a lot of attention and great attention.
We're talking about very small countries.
Michael Hopkins, CEO of Jewish Family Service, says asylum seekers at the shelter stay anywhere from 24 to 78 hours.
Pittsburgh, Dallas, New York, Sacramento.
Majority are sent to live with family members and or sponsors all over the U.S.
These are flights as well as buses, right?
So these are flights as well as buses, and then it has, the number in the family, the age of the child, what time the volunteer is coming to pick them up. Their travel is almost always paid for by family members, but sometimes that doesn't work out.
That's when JFS covers the cost. The asylum seekers are tracked. Adults wear GPS ankle bracelets until their cases are resolved, which could take years, and there is no guarantee they'll be granted permission to stay here.
They've been on a journey for months, just to get here, and they all have slightly different stories, but the common thread is, you wouldn't take your family, a mom and a young child wouldn't travel those thousands of miles unless things were really bad in their home countries.
We went days without showering and days of walking in the heat.
With just these bags, Jennifer and her family are headed to live with her aunt in Kentucky. The journey to get here was not easy. The road ahead is uncertain, but one thing's for sure, there's hope.
My hope is there's a lot of freedom here in the United States. We came from a place where there is a lot of oppression. Here in this country, you're allowed to elect your president. I think I will be better off here.
Now, the shelter downtown is set to stay open until the end of this year. They've had to relocate 4 other times, so we'll see what happens after that.
Wow. The terms asylum seeker, refugee keep getting thrown. There is a difference between those
That's
two.
a good question. There is a difference. So on a personal level, it's the same thing. Right now, they're asylum seekers. So when I came to this country, we were on a path to citizenship.
Right.
So when we entered the U.S., my parents could work and all that stuff. Right now, with what is happening, the asylum seekers, when they're here and they go with their sponsors or their family members, they can't work, they can't do anything. They just got to wait for their case to be resolved. It could take years, could take 3-4 years. And like I said, there is no guarantee that they'll even be able to stay here.
Interesting look inside that facility where there's a lot of volunteers that are there making sure they feel welcome.
Yeah, there's a lot of volunteers, and one thing I did notice is they have bottles of water scattered all over the facility. It's a big facility, and that is intentional because they say that when these people are on their journey, they're out there for months at a time, sometimes no food, sometimes no water, and when they get there, they feel safe and have as much water as you want, and you're in a safe place.
With open
Interesting
arms.
insight. Look, right, Stella, thanks.